Tennant Coatings, known for our innovation and industry-leading resinous floor coatings, now offers an amazing polishing line that can help achieve your shine in half the time. The Tennant Coatings ReVue Hydro Polishing System is considered a hybrid system that draws from both traditional dry polishing and wet polishing processes. Using colloidal silica-based technology and innovative formulas, this process helps reduce the amount of grinding steps, time, and labor costs, while offering a beautiful finish with brilliant clarity. There are 3 types of finishes that can be achieved through the ReVue Hydro Polishing System: large aggregate, salt and pepper, and cream polish. However, it's important to note that the condition of the concrete substrate will help determine the appropriate polishing process and finish. In this training video, we are focusing on a typical salt and pepper process. For information regarding the cream polish or large aggregate finishes, please see technical documentation or contact the technical support team. Prior to starting the polishing process, it's important to confirm that you have the following products and tools handy. The first step of the ReVue Hydro Polishing System is to wet out the floor with a scrubbing machine. Leave the squeegee up to keep machine suction deactivated. Do not leave any areas dry, as this could affect the finished look. Next, apply the ReVue HydroCut cutting agent. Fill a pump sprayer with the ReVue HydroCut. Note that the product is ready to use. Do not dilute the product. Spray the material evenly onto the floor at an average of 500 square feet per gallon. Do not leave any areas untreated or dry. Next, use a medium stiffness bristled broom to evenly spread the ReVue HydroCut around the floor. Let the ReVue HydroCut sit for 30 minutes before starting the grinding process. However, respray any dry areas during the 30-minute time frame. In this scenario, we are starting with the 100 grit ReVue TSR tool. Add the ReVue TSR tools to the grinder. During this step, it's important to note 2 things. 1. Grinding should be at a medium RPM, somewhere between 2200 and 2500 RPMs. 2. This grinding step requires the use of water. It is a wet grind, not a dry grind. Keep a slow walking pace when grinding with the ReVue TSR tooling. When you start a grinding path, be sure to return on that same path. Next, start a new grinding path. It's important to create an 8-inch overlap with the previous grinding path. This technique helps eliminate the need for cross-hatching and helps reduce time and labor. For those who do not know what cross-hatching is, it's when you grind north to south and then east to west. Once you have finished grinding the floor, use a scrubbing machine to remove any remaining slurry residue. Tennant Coatings offers easy cleanup and disposal with our cutting-edge slurry solidifying product, ReVue Hydro Rock. Dump the slurry deposits from the cleaning machine into an empty bucket. Next, add the ReVue Hydro Rock at about 3 ounces per gallon. You can either dump the powder into the stream or dump it into the bucket and mix occasionally. Once the slurry has solidified, dump the contents into a trash bag for disposal. The solidified contents are not considered hazardous. In this scenario, the second step of the ReVue Hydro Polishing System uses the 400 grit ReVue HYB tool. Add the ReVue HYB tools to the grinder. During this step, it's important to note 2 things. 1. Polishing should be at a high RPM, somewhere between 2800 and 3000 RPMs. 2. This polishing step requires the use of water. It is a wet polish, not a dry polish. Again, keep a slow walking pace when polishing with the ReVue HYB tooling. When you start a polishing path, be sure to return on that same path. Remember to keep an 8-inch overlap between polishing paths. Once you have finished grinding the floor, use a scrubbing machine to clean the floor and remove any remaining slurry residue. As previously explained, use the ReVue Hydro Rock to solidify and properly dispose of the slurry. Next, apply the ReVue HydroDense Densifier. Fill a pump sprayer with the ReVue HydroDense. Note that the product is ready to use. Do not dilute the product. Spray the material evenly onto the floor at an average of 500 square feet per gallon. Do not leave any areas untreated or dry. Next, use a medium stiffness bristled broom to evenly spread the ReVue HydroDense around the floor. Let the ReVue HydroDense sit for 30 minutes. Again, respray any dry areas during the 30-minute time frame. After 30 minutes, use a scrubbing machine to clean the floor using water only. Before polishing, let the concrete surface dry to touch. Now, use the 800 grit ReVue PHN tooling and add to the grinder. During this step, it's important to note two things. 1. Polishing should be at a high RPM, somewhere between 2,800 and 3,000 RPMs. 2. This polishing step does not require the use of water. It is a dry polish. After the concrete is dry to touch, use the ReVue DP 1500 grit pad to burnish the floor and remove any residue. After burnishing, apply the ReVue HydroGuard to the concrete floor. First, pour the ReVue HydroGuard into the sprayer. Next, spray the ReVue HydroGuard onto a microfiber applicator pad. Once you spray the microfiber pad, spread it onto the concrete. Note, it's best not to spray directly onto the concrete. After the ReVue HydroGuard has dried to touch, use the ReVue DP 1500 grit pad and burnish the floor. What a beautiful polished floor! Now you've achieved your shine in half the time.